station in downstate Illinois. We lived out on a farm 15 miles south of that town that had the small station. And he used to bring me home pictures of the radio station. I would hang out there on Saturdays, and I knew at a very early age, 7 years of age on up, that I wanted someday to be in radio. And when I got the opportunity, it was at a competing radio station located in a town 15 miles south of where we lived, in the opposite direction of his station, because I really didn't want to work with my father. And so I began my radio career at the age of 14, and of course, even if I could have afforded a car, I didn't have a driver's license at 14, so I had to hitchhike 15 miles down to the town with the radio station every morning, and I would start out at 4:30 in the morning to be there by 5:30 when we went on the air. I had to sign the station on. And then I would hitchhike back to my little town at 8 o'clock to go to high school at 8:30, 8:45. After school was out, at 3:45, I'd hitchhike back to the radio station to go on the air and operate the station until we signed off later that evening. Then I would hitchhike back to my little country town to eat, study, sleep, and get up and do the whole thing over again the next morning. I did that for, it seems like forever. I hitchhiked about 45,000 miles, and I was never late for work, not even one single time. But I knew at a really early age that I wanted to own radio stations, and that's exactly the way it turned out. At the age of 24, I came to Elgin, Illinois radio station WRMN as one of the owners, and my career has grown since then. I've been here 50 years at the end of the year, at the end of December of 2016. Came in 1966, December. So it will be 50 years, half a century of walking up and down the stairs to this radio station. Over the years then we've added other radio stations. We've owned several radio stations, some of which we've sold along the way. I've been involved in the ownership of newspapers, and it's been a wonderful, fulfilling, great career.
What is your greatest achievement within radio?
My greatest achievement in radio is the radio shopping show. We've had, I think, every sort of format you could possibly imagine on radio in the last 50 years, from news talk to country and western to beautiful music to alternative rock, religious. We've done it all, but the real secret of success that we've enjoyed is the radio shopping show, which began way back when, 35 years ago this past Sunday, and it allowed us to truly differentiate ourselves and set ourselves apart in a very competitive Chicago radio environment. We have 129 radio stations, many of which are stronger at our tower sites than are we. So we had to come up with something that was truly unique, and the radio shopping show is that. In a nutshell, we take items, goods, and services, and we sell them on the radio at huge discounts of up to 50, 60, 70, 75% off of the retail price. And I should mention that we predated Home Shopping Network and QVC by a couple of decades, and it was an idea I came up with on a cold, rainy February afternoon right here in Elgin. Since then, we've added radio stations in Aurora, which began in 1996. We bought that station and began doing the radio shopping show on it. And then in 1998, I bought Las Vegas, my partners and I bought Las Vegas, and we put the radio shopping show on it, and all of them have been a great success. We've started to syndicate or to spread the shopping show around. We absolutely think that there's tremendous potential as we franchise this or license the use of the radio shopping show on radio stations around the country.
With the radio shopping show, who hosts it? Does it change every week? Does it Do you rotate people in and out?
The beautiful thing about the radio shopping show from a management perspective is that you're able to have different hosts, and the hosts are pretty much interchangeable because it's not the host that's the personality are the bargains. So it allows us to have a wide range of people, from folks that have never done radio before to seasoned veterans who sell on the air. And we tell people that we're not looking for someone with a rich, deep, beautiful radio voice at all. We're looking for someone on the radio shopping show who can relate to our listeners, who simply sounds like the neighbor next door telling them about this incredible bargain that they think they might be interested in.
Have you ever bought from the radio shopping show?
Well, we have a rule at our house. We don't purchase from the radio shopping show. We want to leave all the bargains for our shoppers, our listeners. So as tempting as it is sometimes, because the values are just incredible, and we offer everything from trips to London, wonderful hotel stays in London, to Cabo San Lucas, to Cozumel, to Jamaica, to all over the world, at huge reductions, to white tablecloth dining, fast food, computers, auto service, spa services, nails and hair, and just about everything you can conceive of, one time or another, we have sold on the radio shopping show.
Was radio something that boosted your love for public speaking? And how did you get introduced to the National Speakers Association? And what has your experience been with NSA been like?
Because of my role in radio, I've been asked many, many times over the years to speak to groups. And I recall, and I've done that. I mean, that was our greatest marketing strategy. I would go out and I would talk to a group, and we would gain new listeners and advertisers, and that's how initially the radio stations all grew. But at some place along the line, I think it was back in the late 80s, someone from then Illinois Bell Telephone asked me if I would come speak to their executives, and I said, sure, I'd be glad to. And they said, well, how much would you charge us? And I thought to myself, I've been doing this whole thing wrong. So I said something like $100, and the guy quickly said, oh, that's great. And I thought, man, I did not ask enough. So I did that particular speaking assignment, and it went over very well. And then there were others that followed that I also received some money for. But it was not until March of 1990 that I went to my first National Speakers Association meeting. It was the Illinois chapter, and I found that there was a whole world out there of people who did this speaking thing professionally. And I got involved in it, I fell in love with it, and I became, over the years, a certified speaking professional, which is to say, and that is the highest earned recognition or categorization that you have within the National Speakers Association. It is the highest accreditation within the National Speakers Association, and it is earned. You have to, over a 5-year period, have a certain number of paid speaking engagements. They have to reach a pretty high, I mean a really high dollar figure. You have to have testimonials and reviews from satisfied customers or clients, and I was able to do that. And that, if you ask me what is probably one of the things I'm most proud of in life, it would be the Certified Speaking Professional Accreditation, because it took so much work to get it. And I became interested then too in the governance of the national organization, the National Speakers Association. The National Speakers Association Board I became a member of in the late 90s, and then in 2005, 2006, I was the president of the National Speakers Association. It was absolutely incredible group that has, I think, the most wonderful people, amazing people, talented, gifted, smart, fun people that I've ever met in my life. So I fell in love with it, and it's been and continues to be a very important part of my life.
You have a Magic of Community frame up to the side of you. What does that represent for you?
Here in my Elgin radio station office, I have the gift that was given to me by the National Speakers Association as I concluded my presidency in the summer of 2006. And it is I should back up and tell you that back then every president of NSA had a theme for their year. And mine was the magic of community, because the thing that always struck me about NSA is that it was a community of people that had the common interest of professional speaking, but yet they helped each other. And they helped each other in every way that you can possibly think of. I mean, consider it for a moment. Here are your competitors, and yet they're helping you become better to compete with them. I mean, it's just almost an a counterintuitive sort of thing. And that's what it is. It's a community, and the synergy from this community I thought was absolutely magic. And so that's where my theme, the magic of community, came from. And at the end of my presidency, they gave me this incredible gift that hangs on the wall over there, and it is all of the members, the 2,900, 3,200 members of the National Speakers Association, little tiny photos of them that are done in different shades that make up my theme, the magic of community. It's very precious to me. I love it a lot. It's one of the greatest gifts I think I ever got.
Thank you very much.